Set to the right side for Iowa State, and they start with a kill from Annie Hatch. In case you were wondering, I know you were wondering, so was I. Our crack crew is on it. Iowa State, only match that they've not won after being up 2-0 was against Kansas on the 19th of November. Can Florida Gulf Coast come all the way back and get a reverse sweep? Or will Iowa State rebound? They'll go out to Holthouse. This is a good start if you're wearing this Cyclone gold and burgundy.
Got to give a shout out to Tuck Cryer back in the booth there for reaching back into the archives and pulling up that tidbit about Iowa State there. And this is all on the table for both of these teams here. Want to try to be as low error as you can, and unfortunately out of the middle there, so Juliana Lentz find the tape on what I thought was a pretty well-timed middle.
Kate Shannon serves for Iowa State. Great short serve. Axner diving, couldn't come up with it. And the fans putting up the sign, we brought our Hilton Magic with us.
And all I can say is maybe my most overused word in my broadcasting. Wow.
It's a good word. And that was quite the short float serve in that middle short zone. Wow.
The best serves, though, the best short serves are the ones that are deceptive, that look like they're going to be a driven ball and that die. And that was that serve. It looked like it was higher trajectory, but it wasn't a lollipop. And still dropped, halfway to the attack line?
4-0 Iowa State to open up this fifth set. Of course, Ames, Iowa, the Hilton, the name of the gymnasium there. And it's been a magical place for this Iowa State squad this past year. As I mentioned earlier, this past regular season, first time since 2012, the Cyclones have defeated all 4 Texas Big 12 schools in their gym. And they're trying to bring that magic here to the Exact Tech Arena at the O'Connell Center. Hosted here by the University of Florida. First and second round action in the Wisconsin region of the tournament. Some teams have already moved on. Texas, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Marquette, San Diego, Washington State, Western Kentucky, Kentucky, Nebraska, Kansas, Baylor, and Rice. Iowa State and Florida Gulf Coast trying to be the next team to move on from the field of 64 into the round of 32. Oh, tough one. That's either a net violation or a
back row block.
Back row block, yes.
Yeah. And
what a start for Iowa State.
Tom, these two teams battling out for this match, and what do they get as a reward? One of them has to face the Florida Gators tomorrow night, or I should say the winner of the Florida Gators and Florida A&M. I don't want to be presumptuous, but either way, it's either going to be a Florida Gator caliber team or the Florida Gators themselves. And that's a nice reward, but also, man, that's a lot of tough volleyball in one weekend if you want to survive.
Rylan Reed to serve for Florida Gulf Coast. She's been an inspirational, uplifting factor. Ouch, look out below. Holthouse delivers a rocket. She rocked the house.
And look how she takes this ball, comes around into the middle, stacking the offense.
Double look.
Little tandem offense. You don't see as much of that, but that 1-2 combination where the set that actually comes out is just a little bit slower and farther off the net, and she's being hidden in that case by Perry.
Just out. Just out. You could see the coaches on the Iowa State bench ready to explode on a big block, but it just was wide. This is where Iowa State would like to score another point. First team to 8 will switch courts. Right side Holthouse. And an attack error.
Just missed it.
Opening the door here.
And Axner with these big float serves from way back behind the end line, trying to get as much motion on the ball as she can. Look how far back she is there, serving from the ground. Maybe a little too far back.
Tough one there. 4-point advantage for Iowa State. trying to move on to face the winner of Florida A&M and Florida, who will play. And you can watch it here where you're watching now at 7 o'clock. Probably be pushed back a little bit past 7, allowing the teams with their warm-up periods. Tip shot from the right side is good for Erin Shoemaker. The senior doesn't want her career to end here on the Exact Tech Arena floor. Her 12th kill on the afternoon. 3 on each team with double-digit kills. We've seen true diverse offense, pin-to-pin by both squads.
Well, and you mentioned the second match maybe being pushed a bit later as a result of this 5-set. But Tom, those who are tuned into this are volleyball fanatics. And for volleyball fanatics, spending a Friday night watching some championship volleyball is not a bad way to do it.
Not a bad way. Iowa State, the first team to 8 here in the 5th. The teams will exchange benches. We'll keep it right here. Is there another comeback in Florida Gulf Coast? Or will Iowa State atone for their performance in set 3 and 4 where they were subpar according to their standards?
4 points is not insurmountable. But when you have less time to do it in a 15-point 5th set, it gets a little bit shakier. Especially when you've got a team like Iowa State who has played against and defeated the juggernaut, then #1 seed Texas.
That's a pretty big accomplishment.
They know how to get it done.
Texas is pretty darn good, led by Eggleston.
Just so much talent on that squad, too.
And they get Skinner to transfer in from Kentucky, Maddie Skinner. Great up from Rylan Reed to keep it alive.
And if you're picking favorites from the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles, you have to add Rylan Reed to that list. She's got to be at least in the running. Tom, you asked earlier what had turned the tide for FGCU in this match.
She's been an emotional lift.
She has been.
Felt's coming alive.
She's making the contacts, but she's also rallying the squad around her when she does. They've been big plays.
Whoa. That was a laser beam from Soleil Thomas. Ouch.
And looked a little unorthodox on the swing as Soleil Thomas is trying to turn that line. But she just let her right arm go. And talk about an elite arm. You can get that accolade one of 2 ways. By being crafty with your swings or just hitting the snot out of the ball. Soleil Thomas can do both.
Okay, Florida Gulf Coast within 3 at 9-6. One player that we haven't called her name in a while offensively for Iowa State is Maya Duckworth, who was the go-to early in this match in the first 2 sets. It seemed like we were calling her name every rally.
Uh-oh.
What a save! Oh, and she's in the net. Yeah. Engelbrecht is in the net. A little anxious there at the net. The lead is 2.
Thought for a second that FGCU wasn't going to be able to pull that up. Ertl hit the deck. Wasn't able to make the contact, but they rallied around her and brought it alive. And who knows whether the ball was going to go over or not, but you're right. Engelbrecht into the top of the net. Is that back row attack? But I think it's going to be a back row attack violation.
Foot was on the line.
Phelps was on
Lily
the line.
Phelps.
If you're going to swing out of the back row, you have to leave entirely behind that line. Doesn't matter where you land, doesn't matter where you contact the ball, but you can't be on or in front of that line. Take a look on your right side of your screen there.
Oh, yeah.
Just enough.
Left foot. Allie Petrie checks in, serving here for Iowa State. She's been a back row substitution for Duckworth later in this match as it's worn on.
And going right back to Phelps on that back row attack.
And what do we have?
And it looks like another violation.
Back row attack again.
You got to credit Lockie for going back to her and Phelps for going after it again, but you cannot make those errors.
Petrie serving from the floor. That's what a 5-1 setter can do when she's in the front row. Let me dump this down on second contact. Take matters into my own hand.
Lockie's trying to distribute the ball, doesn't get done, so she says, fine, I'll do it myself.
She served it unbelievably well during this match. Big block for Florida Gulf Coast, and it's Rylan Reed.
And an even bigger celebration from Reed. Check this block here, stiff block. But see if you can catch Reed as she comes down to celebrate. The intensity first, points at it, but then after she comes out of the huddle, she's already smiling. So I love that. You get the tenacity and how fierce she is in her play, but she's still having a blast.
Holthouse blasts away. She's got the most kills in this match of anyone on the floor, now with 17.
And FGCU doing everything they can to overcome this 3-point deficit.
Kate Shannon, senior, checks in to serve it here in a clutch situation.
Little tandem offense of their own from
Go to
Florida Gulf
Shoemaker.
Coast. Yep, Shoemaker. But again, somewhat being hidden by the tandem offense. It was looked like it was going to Juliana Lentz to disrupt the block timing. You can disrupt where the block happens in relation to the attack or when it happens. And stacking players like that disrupts when the block is above the net and effective.
Holthouse with the kill. Another point closer to a second round matchup with the winner of Florida A&M in Florida.
Really
for
smart,
Iowa State.
Really smart swing by Ella Holthouse too on that. She had the block in front of her, so she went high hands. We haven't used that term very much in this match, but outside hitters, that's often the shot you have to make. You got to try to hit the block and send the ball deep.
That one had a little mustard on it from Juliana Lentz.
Or if you go to the middle, you just get the ball to the ground as fast as you can, as we saw Juliana Lentz do.
Florida Gulf Coast will take a timeout here. This is a critical, very critical juncture, that last rally and now this one. Because with another point, Iowa State gets to match point. Florida Gulf Coast needs to extend this run and try to get it to 13 all. Because multiple opportunities at match point, ouch.
Yeah, and if you're Matt Botsford, you got to keep the energy going that you've seen from your squad, but at the same time, really get them dialed in so they're able to pick up on the adjustments that need to be made. And a lot of it, I would imagine, has to do with controlling the first contact and staying in system in transition as much as you can, so you can get those big swings against the Cyclones.
Both of these teams have been in clutch pressure situations in 5-set matches this year. Florida Gulf Coast with a mark of 1-2. We mentioned Iowa State with all those reverse sweeps. 4 of them. They are 5-2 in 5-set matches on the season. So they're no stranger to high pressure, race to 15, everything magnified sets. Christy Johnson-Lynch going right to Soleil Thomas. And then to her setter, Morgan Brandt. Where would you go, Josh, if you get a good pass and Brandt has multiple options?
Well, Soleil Thomas, 19 swings, only 3 errors. She's hitting .421. But
pretty good choice.
But Holthouse can hit out of the back row, can hit out of the front row, and she's always ready, and here she is. Oh,
it danced on the net and just went out of bounds.
And Holthouse is there waiting for it.
Right
as
in front
everybody's
of us.
watching the ball ever so slowly roll toward the antenna. And you get an up-close view right here. Look at this. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Oh,
and
my
out of
word.
bounds. I don't even know if it touched the pin or not, but it definitely landed out of bounds.
I don't think it did. Match point, Iowa State. Lily Feltz, dug up by Holthouse. Oh, an illegal contact.
Christy Johnson-Lynch, not a believer in that call. Doesn't think it's the time for it.
Well, if it's illegal contact, you call it whenever it is.
You'd like
the
to
first
think.
set or the 5th at match point.
You'd like to think.
Ouch! The blast from the right side from Soleil Thomas. And Iowa State survives a frantic Florida Gulf Coast Eagles comeback. After the Eagles were down 0-2, Iowa State takes the 5th, 15-12.
Iowa State looking on to round 2. FGCU season may be over, but no reason to hang their heads. The Eagles came into the O'Connell Center here and fought back from what looked like a match that was slipping away quickly and really put on a show.